share. All right, Marcus, the live stream to Zoom or from Zoom to Facebook is starting. I'll let you know when it's on there. Looks like we are live on Facebook. So you can share that now. I am going to do the same. So go ahead and.
How do you share that?
You should see on your Facebook, Entrepreneurship is live now. And so that's what I have. It's just in my notifications.
Not on the entrepreneur page, on my personal page, or?
It should be on the Entrepreneurship page. That's what I see. I see Entrepreneurship is live now. So just on my regular Facebook.
Okay, it doesn't show me. Let me see. On the main page?
Yes,
so
the main Entrepreneurship, it shows Entrepreneurship is live now. I am just posting it on my page. I just posted it to my page.
Okay.
And I'm going to copy the link and post it in WhatsApp here for our friends so they can jump on. Now you should see it there as well.
Live. Now I see it live on my mobile.
There you go.
Okay.
It is starting. Now I see it live on my mobile. There you go. All right, get it shared.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, looks like we have some people joining us. That's great. Let me know when you're ready, and I know people.
Ready.
You are ready. I know.
Always
I knew you were.
Born ready.
All right. Well, with that, I know more people will be joining us, but it is 11:30 a.m. in the Central Time Zone here in the U.S., where I reside. It is what, 5:30 for you?
6:30.
6:30. All right. Well, Markus, welcome. Welcome to Facebook Live. We attempted to do this, gosh, I don't even remember, a few weeks ago, maybe closer to a month ago. And we had an issue with a Zoom update talking to Facebook. We couldn't get it online, so we rescheduled. Here we are, the last day of June 2021, and it's your turn to talk about your chapter in our book, ENTRE-Preneur-Ship. So before we get into that, allow me to introduce you to our audience, as I've done with each of our co-authors. Markus, we call him the webinar junkie with a professional desire to find a project that makes a difference in the world in a positive way. He brings his desire for personal growth and lifelong learning to all of us. And just so all of our listeners here know, today, as we got started, he was telling me about his just rescheduling of everything, because he has about 8 or 9 hours of Zoom meetings right now. So I'm glad that we found this time and opportunity to talk about his chapter in the book. Markus, what else would you like to add about your introduction for our listeners today?
Oh, well done. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like entrepreneurship, and as it is, or as a start, as we highlight in our backgrounds, it's entre. And I think that's my favorite part of entrepreneurship. So I'm happy to be able to talk about that with you.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right into some of the questions that we have. The first question's an easy one, but hopefully you've got a lot of detail, not obviously telling everybody the whole story, but tell our listeners about your chapter in our first book. Tell them about what's, you know, kind of the reference point or the story that you want to share with them. Again, without telling them the whole story, we obviously want them to purchase the book, but tell us about your chapter.
Yeah, I think we all started, as Entre says, it's about the beginning of our business life. And for me, it was when I finished school, I had no idea what I will do. The only thing I was very sure was I don't want to be an employee. I'm not done for that. So I knew when I was young, I will do my own business. I had no idea what that will be, absolutely no idea. But I knew I'm not born to do what somebody tells me. So that's why I didn't went to the army in Germany. At that time, we had the chance to choose between 1 year of social work. It was 13 months or 10 months army. And I was pretty sure that from those 10 months, I will sit 9 months and 29 days in the army jail, because I will have a conflict on the first day. I was pretty sure that's not for me. So I decided to do some social work, and I'm pretty happy with that decision. And after that, in my school newspaper, I said I want to launch 10 businesses. So I was pretty sure it's not one business I will do. I was sure that I will do more than 10 businesses by my own or with partners. And yeah, I'm 48 years old, and that goal is done. I did more than 10 businesses in my life. Most of them are still in progress. So, and even in the last COVID time, a lot of things happened. So
how many businesses have you launched in the last, say, 2 years?
Yeah, it depends a little bit. What is a business I launched? For example, I'm co-investor in an online application, on a mobile application. So, but it's more than an investment, but I wouldn't say I launched that business, but I'm in. So,
okay.
And I do some work, but I think with my business partner, 4 or 5 new businesses we did in the last 2 years.
I remember you telling us on a Saturday call that you had launched 4 or 5 businesses just in the last year or two during these COVID times. And so I wanted to make sure our listeners, whether they're watching us live on Facebook or they're listening to the recording afterwards, understand that your chapter, while it was about launching 10 businesses, and yes, you have done that, you've continued to do that. How many?
Absolutely.
What's the total number that you've launched or been involved in? You said you're 48, so in the last 25 years.
Yeah, I think it might be 12 to 15 businesses. Yeah.
Including 4 or 5 in the last few years. So just so
Yes.
our
Yes.
listeners understand,
Yes.
it's a continual process. And obviously you and I have been involved in a few things together. Besides this book, we have some other things right now. It's been a lot of fun. So let me ask you this. What are you most looking forward to specifically with entrepreneurship for books 2 and books 3 as we are planning and writing those books as we speak? So what are you most looking forward to with the future of entrepreneurship from a book standpoint?
Yeah. Entre, I did 12 to 15 times. And I think that's like a muscle. You know, if you do something the first time, it hurts, and it's difficult and it's complicated and everything is new. And it's like training. If you do it more times, it's getting easier. I think it depends on the business model, but I think it's Vince, you and I, we can launch a business in a few hours, and then we need some administrative stuff. So we need a lawyer and stuff. Yeah. So maybe it will take another 2 weeks, but it's easy because we have done it a lot times or many times before. So it's getting more and more easy, and it doesn't feel like a risk. It's just normal. It's just like breathing, you know, it's just, yeah. But now preneur is for me the part to make the business successful, to make
Scale up.
scale up, make it, yeah, a proper business that makes money. And I'm not that interested in money, so I'm more interested to create new ideas and new businesses. So I think that's exciting. To earn money is okay, but that is never the reason for me to launch something new. So like that book I've never written before, and I was really bad in school in writing stories or something. So it was a challenge for me. And the second book is much more difficult for me. And let's see, the third book, Ship, it depends what is Ship. Maybe I've never done it. I don't have a company with 1,000 people. So if that is Ship, I've never done it. So I think the most people haven't done. So I think
it could be moving on though too. It could be
exactly
transitioning your business that you started. So I think you have some opportunities there that we'll get to talk about. So let's reverse that question for a moment, and let me ask you, what was your biggest challenge? You kind of alluded to it, you know, writing and whatnot, but what was your biggest challenge with writing book number 1?
Yeah, I don't like writing that much. So even in school, when I was in German or English, and the ladies, they wrote 25 pages, I was fine with 1 or 2 pages. Yeah. So my letters are very small, but even it's maybe just 10% of what the girls in the class wrote. But I thought I have more content. Yeah, but it's just I can't make it a really good story and make it big. It's just I'm focused. I come to the point, 3 sentences and done. So to write 2,500 words was really a challenge for me. I've never done that so many words before in my life.
So do you remember the book that Ivan Meisner, Frank Durafoli, and Hazel Walker wrote, Business Networking and Sex, Not What You Think? You are the stereotypical male in that book. Just, this is what I want, and I'm just going to knock it out, write it, and be done with it, move on. Where the female talks about like relationships and takes their time, and you very much just became the stereotypical male from that book, in my opinion. So go ahead. You were going to add?
No, that was my biggest challenge with the first book, because I think I have a lot of experience there, and getting better and better in launching new businesses. So the first book was not a big challenge for me at all from the content side. The Preneur book we are writing right now. So today is the final day to finish that book. So
Yes. I'm awaiting your chapter, sir.
So I have 5.5 hours to finish my chapter. It depends on what time zone. So maybe when I fly to another time zone, I get a few additional hours to finish my chapter.
You'll have to come my way, because if if you're with me, you've got about 12 hours to finish it. So
yeah, absolutely.
So Markus, what did you learn from being an author with the other 9 of us?
I think I learned a lot. So so the first thing, I learned how to write a book. So I'm not a professional, absolutely not, but for sure it was a new challenge. So yeah, we were looking for some information how to write it. So I learned that, and I really love the diversity. So we are 10 people, and each of us has its own approach, how to write a book, how to run a business, how to launch a business, and to talk about that, and to read the chapters from all of you. That was also a big learning for me, and yeah, it was very interesting and exciting to read the book and to write the book.
Well, and as we've talked about before, one of the best parts, or my favorite thing about this first book, and we talk about it literally on the back cover of the book, how, you know, entrepreneurs, as they take that step, they feel alone. And we felt that at some point in time, but we certainly have each other now. We have a huge network of people. And what we want entrepreneurs to know when they're taking that risk and taking that chance, that they're not alone. And we want to be their sounding board if they need it. And so, you know, that's the biggest thing with entrepreneurship is having others, whether it's somebody that you get a story from today, from maybe one of our chapters, or down the road, and you're like, you know what, I remember reading that, I've got to go back and read that chapter again. And for you personally, your chapter really is about having multiple businesses, launching multiple businesses. You know, we have some friends that have multiple streams of income, and that's important to not just ultimately have one only, and have a challenge with that one business. We've seen a lot of changes in the last year and a half, for the better in some cases, and certainly not necessarily for the worst, but some major changes to what businesses look like in this somewhat future world that we're in, or post-COVID world, or on the other side of COVID world, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what we're calling it quite yet, but yeah. So anything else that you wanted to add to that about the partnership with the 9 authors?
Yeah, as some, I think also in the other interviews, the other co-authors told that. So we haven't started with the idea to write a book. It was the pandemic. So we are, so we call us a friendship circle.
Right.
Yeah. So we know each other from one business, BNI, Business Network International. And we met each other at some conferences around the world. And even I think 6 or 7 of us 10 visited their German conference 2 years ago. I remember that we were in Munich, and I can remember some English unicorns and stuff like that. So we had a lot of good time, and I love to meet people. And when that pandemic came up, I don't know who, but one of us said, okay, let's meet. Yeah, we are missing the others, and to talk about stupid things about business and whatever. And we decided to have a 1.5 hour webinar on Saturdays. So the most of us are fathers, and and I think we don't have a lot of time to waste. So, but most people till now, it's close to 16 months. We meet every Saturday till
Right.
March 20. And I think that is exciting. So by that pandemic, we got better friends and we met more than we ever did before. And so when 10 people just sitting together, 10 business people, and coming just to have fun, it didn't took long that somebody came with the idea, let's do something together, let's do a business, or let's write a book. And I said, okay.
We've talked about having a conference. We've talked about traveling together. We've talked about writing a book, which we've now done. But I got to be very clear. You mentioned English and unicorns at the German conference. And I have to be very clear. He's thrown himself out there on Facebook Live. For our listeners, the English unicorn was our co-author, Russ. It was not this English guy. It
No,
wasn't the American. It was the Englishman.
It was
so
the English guy.
Yeah. We got to be clear. Although he's like more Northern English, and sometimes the English don't even claim him, as we've talked about before. Russ, I know you're listening. I know you're on. So love you, man. We got to give you a little bit of a hard time, as we do each time. But you're so right, Markus. I remember only a handful of us being together now 3 years ago in Ireland for a meeting. And that's kind of where this all began. And then it was really fortified and grew 2 years ago in Germany. And even for some of us being together, one time a year, maybe 2 times a year, all of a sudden that was taken away from us a year and a half ago. And, we've given thanks before, but we're really thankful to Vera, because here she was in Italy in a lockdown in March, and we were all kind of coming into that going, oh my gosh, what's going on? Tell us what it's like. And that started our Saturday, for me, Saturday morning conversations, for you, Saturday afternoon, for Mark and Bharat, Saturday evening. But they've continued. Here we are in almost July 2021. We started it at the beginning, maybe middle of March 2020. So we're talking about 15, 16 months. And not only did we get together as friends, as we've talked about before, we've gone from getting together on Saturdays to have personal conversation, friendship, the things we're missing out on, to writing a book together, to writing a second and third book together that we now meet and talk about on Tuesdays. And, for me, it's bright and early in the morning. Most of you guys know I'm out running or walking, and I'm on the phone, usually not on video looking this good. I know, no comments. But we have an opportunity to really help entrepreneurs all over the world. And my favorite thing personally is we truly are the gateway to the entrepreneurship world across the globe, with 10 of us residing in 10 different countries, representing 12, 13, 14 countries, really, when you start to break everybody down, with Mark representing Canada and Australia, and of course, Vera, Italy and Slovenia, and Antonio living in Portugal, but being from Angola and having ties to Brazil, and obviously so many more. I can't name all the countries and all the people, but we have such a gateway. And that's just the 10 of us. Our networks touch so many other countries that's my favorite part of being with you all and being part of this group. So what else, Markus? What else do you want to spend our time together on, talking about your chapter or what you learned from the others?
I think those chapters, each of us has its own approach or a focus, what is very important for him in life, personal life, but also in business life. And that diversity is very interesting for me, because especially I'm not a specialist in anything, but maybe I'm okay in a lot of things. And so I know I always need people, and I need experts.
Yeah.
And for me, I was pretty sure I will not run a business on my own. I'm not good on my own. So my strength is to when I talk about something, I get ideas, and if I can learn from others and see and hear how they do something, I can. I'm pretty fast in doing things as good as they, or maybe even better, because I bring my skills with me and I copy skills of them. And
Right.
and I'm willing to learn all my life. I can't do the same over and over again. So that's why I launch new businesses, because my brain needs new stuff. And so I love to talk to other people's, and always listening and say, okay, what's in for me? It's not a one-to-one copy. It is just, how can I adapt that
Right.
for myself? So I'm good in taking something, and it can be a complete different business, and see, okay, by this success this person has, what can I adapt on my own business? So that's
Sure.
what I'm good. So I need input from outside. So if you close the door behind me and say, here are 2 weeks, make a concept, there will be nothing. There will be nothing, because I get no input. So working in a team is what I really love to do. And there, I think, are my strength. I can make things better, but I can't bring them up from zero. So
Well, personally speaking, I've seen some of the work that you've done, finished products on certain things, and I know you do a great job. And so I appreciate you. I appreciate not only knowing you, but being part of this project together. You know, writing 3 books, like we talked about, was certainly not the original intent, but it's certainly what we're doing, what we've committed to. Of course, we have to mention it's almost the 1st of July, and in about 6 weeks, on Saturday, August 21st, that is World Entrepreneurship Day and World Entrepreneurs Day. We will be hosting some Facebook Lives and some other online platforms about not only entrepreneurship, the book series, but also future endeavors that we plan, like mastermind groups or a conference. So be watching our Facebook page and seeing more information on that, because that is the next step and the next real fun project that we all have together. And the best part to me is you get 10 people with 10 unique circumstances that brought them together, but yet one common bond, and it's the friendship that we have with one another to do what we're doing today. So I'm, personally speaking, really excited for that. I know all of us are strong-willed, and we have different ideas of what that might look like, but we're working together. As you mentioned, we're getting input. So mark your calendars. It's a Saturday. It's August 21st. It's World Entrepreneurs Day. We are excited to take that next step together with all of you. So Markus, before I ask you the final question that I know you've been preparing weeks for, what else do you want to share with our listeners?
I would love to invite people to try new things, and maybe start or to renew their business or whatever. I would love, especially for Germany, we need more entrepreneurs. We need more people. So we are good in a lot of things. The Germans are famous for engineering and stuff, but I think we are not so progressive like the US or a lot of other countries. And I would love to invite everybody around the world to start businesses, to employ people, and to make this world a better place. So it's the only chance for all of us to solve, yeah, problems or whatever, the trouble that's going out there. And so I would love to inspire people to yeah, go that way and take that challenge to make a new business, first, a second, a third, or whatever. And yes, I would be happy to inspire people for that.
Well, it's nice that we also use that same word, inspire, in our byline for the book, Entrepreneurship, or the subtitle for the book, 10 inspiring journeys into business from across the globe. And for everybody that's listening, that's read, that's purchased our book or received a copy, that's really what it's about: inspiring others to do something they didn't think was possible. And while we've been talking, Markus, one of our co-authors, Jan, went back and looked, and this all started on the 17th of March, 2020, when Vera said, hey, I'd love to do a Zoom call with all of you together this week just to see you all and share thoughts and feelings. Or actually, I think it looks like Jan actually wrote that. So that's how it started. So Jan, thank you for that. The 18th of March, when all of us started responding, by the way, was my birthday. So I guess it brought a birthday present to me that here we are 15, 16 months later that just keeps giving. So thank you. Thank you all. Markus, you've had plenty of time to prepare for this. What is your favorite chapter in entrepreneurship?
You see here's
I see a bunch of tabs on the end of the book.
Yeah, there are several of them. So I really like every chapter. That's the answer the most of us gave, but there are here, for example, passion takes away hunger, thirst, sleep, and even pain. And that's what you need if you are an entrepreneur. That's what Antonio said. And he talked about, that was an amazing story, that his father said he wants to be known as the father of Antonio.
Antonio, yeah, exactly.
Yeah? And he doesn't want the people to say, oh, he is this, Antonio is the son of, so he
right.
wants to be. So I haven't heard that before, and that's, yeah, I remember, and I think that's must be a really, really great person, his father, to say something to your little son, and to make him strong. And I think Antonio did a very good job in that too, and I think his father will be proud.
Absolutely.
And so it's more, it's not a whole chapter. I love them all, but I love a lot of sentences people told us. And so I read the book over and over.
And find something else every time?
Every time. Here's
every
another
time.
one.
Agreed.
No thanks. Let me remind you that potential is something that you are not yet, and you will have to work really hard to become what I believe you can be. It's up to you to achieve that or not. And I like that one too. And you see, I put a lot of stickers in here, and there are, it is the most exciting for me was to we know each other, but we know each other from conferences. I didn't knew about your background, about your childhood and your
Right.
way to become the person you are today. And that's what we learned from that book. It's on the one side, we learned about business, but our friendship got much deeper by reading the chapters of each of us. And I think
Absolutely.
that's for me the biggest benefit. So I think, and even if you see 2 or 3 of us, it's 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And just be honest, how many of you would wake up at 5:30 to come to a weekly meeting at 6 o'clock on Saturday for 16 months? And
Right.
maybe those persons missed 1 or 2 meetings.
Yeah.
And that is commitment. And I really appreciate that. And so we are far away from each other, but on the other hand, we are so close. And I can't wait the day to see all of you. So we have a conference in Miami. Maybe a few of us can make it there because of the laws and in their countries. So some people can't go to the US right now. So it's mid of October. I hope to hug some of you there. And I really wait for the day we can be all 10 together. We have to make a big party.
Yes, it's coming soon. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's
I
coming
look
closer.
forward to it. I look forward to it as well. Markus, on behalf of our audience, whether they're live with us today on Facebook or they're listening to this afterward, I'd like to thank you on behalf of all of the authors. We've
Thank
got
you.
one last author to roast, I think, or ask questions to, and that's yours truly. So be watching Facebook for that scheduled day coming up in the next week or two. We're going to finalize that day and get that out there. And then we're going to do this all over and start talking about a new project leading up to August 21st, World Entrepreneurs Day. So keep watching our Facebook page for all the updates. And of course, thank you everybody for your support. And to my co-authors, thank you for all that you've done to continue to keep us together. Even though it's via an electronic means, it's brought us so much closer together for when we get the opportunity to see each other again. With that, Markus, it is time to sign off. I look forward to seeing you soon, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much. And thank you everybody out there to follow us on Facebook. And maybe Entrepreneur Day on the 21st of August is a good date to see you again. Thank you.
You bet.
Bye-bye.